Hariom. So now we're going to do micro lesson number 5, which is a full-time revision. So this is where you're going to take practice of an asana that you've already taught quite some time ago, and you're going to be getting your students to hold it for the full length of time that we aim for to give benefits. So you'll see the first point. The aim of this lesson is to be able to get the students to relax through various techniques and to encourage them to hold the position for the full time. So there are lots of ways that we can help our students to hold the position. Now you're going to choose an asana that has a longer duration. So you want one that's going to be at least a minute. Because if you have one that's a minute or longer, then you get to use all your different techniques so that they can maintain it. If you're going to do something like Shalabhasana, it's only 15 seconds, 30 seconds, it's not going to be very long for you to be talking. Okay, so try to choose one that will be 1 minute or more, and there are many options. For example, you could choose Vajrasana Yoga Mudras 1 or 2, you could choose Vakrasana, the twisted pose 1 or 2, Ardha Matsundrasana, the half spinal twist, you could choose Pawan Muktasana, the gas release pose, Sarvahasta Bhujangasana, the cobra pose, you could do Virasana, the warrior, Trikonasana, the triangle, Viparit Kani, the inverted pose, Sarvangasana, the shoulder stand. So that's already many that you could choose from. So all of them are 1 minute or longer. So first, when you're going to be doing the micro lesson, you want to get that introduction and a short explanation of the practice, remembering that they already know the pose. So you might just say, okay, today we're going to be holding our shoulder stand, Sarvangasana, for a longer period of time. We're going to be holding it for 2 minutes. You already know it very well. Now, the next point here, explain the full-time duration. So telling them the time that they're going to maintain, like I said, 2 minutes. Then instruct the students that they should release the posture if at any point they feel uncomfortable. So after you've told them, okay, we're going to hold the position for 2 minutes, please remember that if you can't hold that position or if it feels uncomfortable, you can always release the pose. So by giving them that 2 minutes, you've told them 2 minutes, some of them are like, oh, this is going to be a little difficult, I don't think I can manage it. But then when you tell them that you can always release it if you need to, it makes them feel relaxed. So it's really important to tell them that they don't have to hold the pose if it doesn't feel comfortable. Okay, so after that, we want to give the instructions to perform the asana. So we want to be giving breathing instructions, and we want to be giving description of how to come into the position. Once they're in the position, again, talking about the breath, going to normal breathing. And then as they hold the position, you can start talking about the stressed parts, you can talk about the breath, you can give more relaxation. If they're going to hold it for a really long time, you might be able to talk through all the body parts like you would do in Shavasana. Or you might just talk about the stressed areas, the main areas that they would be feeling when they're holding that position. So the next point, encouraging students to maintain the asana for the full-time duration. So there's other things that you can be saying as well to encourage them to hold it. One is to give benefits. If you say, we're doing the shoulder stand, for example, Sarangasana, if you can maintain this position for 2 minutes, then you're going to get a lot more blood flow towards your brain. You're going to improve your memory. You're going to help remove any kind of health problems that you're having in your abdominal organs. There's lots of benefits that we can talk about for things like Sarangasana and shoulder stand. So that makes it a little bit more exciting for the students to be holding it. So sometimes students might want to release the pose just because they're not very interested in doing it, or they're a little bit bored, and they're not having any discomfort as such, they're just losing their focus. So by giving benefits, that's going to encourage them to maintain it a bit longer. Also, you can give the timing. So for example, if you're doing Sarangasana for 2 minutes and it's already 1 minute has passed, then you might say, okay, we've only got 1 minute remaining, you're all doing really well. Then time can be a good incentive. If you've only got 30 seconds to go out of your 2 minutes and you say, okay, just 30 seconds, then many people who might be thinking about releasing the pose, not because they have any discomfort, but just because they're kind of losing it, they'll go, oh yeah, I can hold it for another 30 seconds. It is important when you are talking about time that you don't have a countdown. And you also don't want to start talking about the time until at least half of that time is over. I would be feeling a little disheartened if I'm going to do the shoulder stand for 2 minutes and after 20 seconds I would said, okay, 20 seconds gone already. That's not very helpful. So you want to make sure it's at least half that time is over before you talk about time, and don't come back to time all the time. Okay, say other things as well. And then after they've held that position for the full length of time, reminding them that if they need to release it, they always can. You're going to give instructions to release the pose. So instructions with the breath and the steps they need to release it. And that's your micro lesson number 5. Hurry on. So we're going to look at the checklist for micro lesson number 5 as well. So making sure that you give an introduction and explanation of the practice. So that's where you're going to be talking about the name of the pose, reminding them what it is, and telling them how long you're going to be holding it for, but also reminding them that if they need to release the pose at any time, they can do so. Then giving instructions for the practice. So you're going to talk about how to come into the position with the breath, with the movements required, and then once they're in the position, again talking about the breath, relaxed breathing, and talking on how the position should be, any stressed areas. You might talk about the focus of the pose, the aim of that asana. You can talk about the alignment and the main principles of that pose. And again, you can talk more about the breath. So there's lots of things that you can do when they're holding the pose. You want to make sure that you're going to give relaxation instructions. You also want to make sure that you give any precautions if there are any, just as a reminder, because people do forget what problems they might be having, and they just want to practice everything. Okay, points also for giving encouragement. So it might be personal or group encouragement. It might be by giving benefits of the asana, that is giving encouragement. Talking a little bit about the time. So it is important that you are going to time it properly, and I would suggest that you have a watch with you so that you can do that timing. And you can talk about it. So after halfway, start talking about the time, but again, don't do a countdown. Giving any variations as needed. Also talking about the do's and don'ts. So basically just reminding them about how the position should be, what you don't want to be seeing. So example, if it's Paschimottanasana, you'll be saying, remember to try and have your legs straight, avoiding hunching your back as much as you can, those kind of things. Giving corrections as needed. And as always, making sure that the voice is peaceful, relaxed, and confident. And now we're going to see the micro lesson 5 example. Hurry on. Hurry on. So we're going to be practicing micro lesson 5 now, which is our full-time revision. So today we're going to be practicing a pose that we've been doing for many weeks. We've been building up that timing for quite some time. And the pose that we're going to do is known as Vajrasana Yoga Mudra Type 1, or the Thunderbolt Yoga Gesture Type 1, also known as the Child's Pose. There are many different variations of this. So today we're going to hold this position for 2 minutes. Now it's really important when you're holding the position that you are relaxing, and that if you do have any kind of pain or discomfort, you always release the pose. So let's get ready to come into this position. So from our sitting position, we're going to be bending one leg, then the other leg, coming onto our fingertips and our toes. Okay, and then lowering your knees to the ground and then sitting on your heels. So relaxing your feet here. Okay, so now we're in the thunderbolt position, Vajrasana. Now what we want to do is bring our hands behind our back, one hand on top of the other. Yeah. Now inhale, lifting your spine up, stretching up, and exhaling slowly, bending forward as far as it's comfortable to go. And I'm going to start the counting now. Now we're going to release the arms down by the side if it's more comfortable for you. Also, if you need, you can bring your knees a little bit apart. If you need to have something under your forehead, you can do that too. Remember, it should be comfortable. Now take a breath in and out, relaxing into the position. So here, this position is a really good one to hold for longer periods of time. It's really good for massaging the internal organs. It's really good if you have a lot of anger to help release it. So just relaxing into the pose. Remember to take a variation if you need. Feel that pressure of your thighs against your belly. Feel that gentle stretch in your back. Nice relaxed breathing. We're going to be holding it for 2 minutes, and we've already held it for a minute, so we don't have very long to go. Relax your face, all the muscles of your face, your eyes, nose, mouth, relaxing your upper back, your chest and your shoulders. Feel that with every breath, every exhalation, you're breathing out any tension, any stress, any worries. And we've only got 30 seconds to go now. You're doing really well, holding the position really nicely, Ishi. Taking nice deep breaths in and out. And now we're slowly going to get ready to release. Bring your hands back to touching behind. Exhale and inhaling, slowly raising your body up. Release your hands down by the side. And now releasing your legs, coming back to sitting position, one leg in front and the other leg in front. Straightening your legs, and we've completed the practice. So the full-time revision, 2 minutes of Vajrasana Yoga Mudra Type 1. Hari Om.